In version 2 of our filling machines data, we're going to be using a new data set, unsurprisingly called filling machines version 2 over here. So let's go ahead and import that one, change our name to fill2. We'll run this, and now run a new one-way analysis variance. Though before that, again, let's look at our output data. What do we have now? Here we still have 15 observations. The values for machines A and B didn't change, but what I did was I moved the values for C up 2 seconds. So I increased the time it takes to fill using machine C by 2 seconds. So let's think about what our results should be. For our analysis of variance, we previously saw that machines A and B had different times. So now, is it still going to be true that not all of the machines have the same average time? Yeah, it's still going to be true, right? Because we know that A and B had different times. So our analysis of variance test is still going to be significant here, but we don't know what's going to happen with C, since we changed some of the values for C. Okay, so now let's do our one-way analysis variance again, change our data set here to fill2. Otherwise, everything's going to be the same. Fill time, still our dependent variable. Machine, still our categorical variable. And let's just go ahead and keep the default 2 key comparisons here. Okay, so let's hit run. And let's see what we've got. 15 observations used, 3 levels. Skip down to our analysis of variance table. Our F statistic is smaller than it was before. We'll see why in just a second. Our p-value is bigger than it was before, and that's happening because our F statistic is smaller. But this p-value is still significant, just as we expected, right? We still expected to find that not all of the means were the same, and this is indeed what we find. Our p-value is smaller than our 0.05 threshold, so we reject our null hypothesis of equality in favor of our alternative hypothesis of not all means being equal. Scroll down here, look at the data, and now we understand what's going on a little bit better. That comparison between group A, machine A, and machine B is identical to what it was before. All of the values for machine A and machine B are just the same, but that machine C box plot has been moved up a couple of units. And the reason I chose to move it up a couple of units is so that now machines B and machines B and C look pretty similar now. I mean, I don't mean to say that the graphically it looks the same, but the means, the diamonds here, are actually pretty similar. And so what we should expect to find looking at the post-hoc comparisons, looking at the p-values for comparing each of the pairs of means, we should now find that there's no significant difference between machines B and C, since those means really look very, very similar. Okay, so let's scroll down now. We're looking at these comparisons, and indeed looking at the means. The mean for machine B, 22.61, and for C, 22.59, are very, very similar. So we would expect to see that these are not significantly different from one another. And looking down here, that's exactly what we see. We see that machines A and B are significantly different because the p-value for that pairwise comparison, 0.0064, is smaller than our 5% threshold. Our p-value for comparing machines A and C is also significant. We can say that we're confident that machines A and C don't fill at the same speed, but our comparison for machines B and C is not significant. 0.9994 is definitely not less than 0.05, and so we would have to say that machines B and C, we don't have evidence that they fill at different rates.